Hello, my name is Trujillo, and I'm here to discuss with you about intelligence, or IQ, and how it's been perceived in the past and in today's modern world. Now today, intelligence or IQ is perceived as it's something you're born with, it's something you could predict to happen in your lifetime, or it's just meaningless. And I think it's more on the meaningless side because, sure, it's something you can be born with, like you're born with a certain amount of intelligence, and sure, it can predict something, like you can predict that you're going to be this smart, and that makes sense, but I think that intelligence is something that when you're born, you're going to experience so many things in life, and you're going to just learn so much that your intelligence will keep rising and rising and rising on so many different levels that you can hit the amount that you predicted. But the human brain is one of the most complicated things that we know today, and it's so complicated that we can rise above what we predict. We can surprise ourselves, and we can hit to the point where we predict, but we could just keep on going over and over and over that bar that we've set ourselves, and it just makes that just the exponential amount of intelligence that we can get makes predictions meaningless, and it makes it meaningless to be tied down by a number that we think is right for it. So long ago, back in the dinosaur age, the 50s and 60s, the government came out with the IQ test, and this was a huge thing back then because it would judge how smart you were, and it spread like wildfire. Everyone started using it, and because everyone started using it, the IQ test itself, as I said, judges your intelligence. Now, that intelligence, that number you would get branded on you, basically would determine what schools you'd go to, what jobs you could do. It even determined how your peers would see you, your reputation among your peers, and how people perceived you, like just random strangers too, and how you felt about yourself. And that's where it comes in, because if you had a high IQ, you'd feel great about yourself. Everyone would love you because you were a smart guy, you felt so confident about yourself, and you thought your life was great. But if you had a low IQ, people looked down on you, you couldn't get any jobs, and you'd feel bad about yourself because you'd think you were stupid. And that's one flaw with the IQ. So I mentioned that there was one flaw with the IQ number itself, and there is one flaw that it would make you feel less confident about yourself. But the test that gets you the IQ number is the one that's riddled with all kinds of flaws, because the tests that were made back in the 1950s were really outdated, and they were just a general test, just to see how smart you were on the general test, and it would just slap you down with the IQ number. But it should have been specialized, because intelligence has many different forms and components to it, and let's just say they gave you a test, here, do this one task, and let's just say you were unfortunately bad at that one task, then you get branded with this low IQ number, and if you just failed it and you got that low IQ number, people would just automatically think you're dumb. Like I said before, you'd get frowned upon. People wouldn't like you, but you can be smart at other things. Like, you could be the best piano player in the world. You could be a human calculator. You can memorize a bunch of stuff, but then again, you might not be able to convey language in the right way, or something like that. But no one would know. That's the thing. No one would know, because they'd avoid you because of your low IQ number. But it's not fair to the person, because it's not his fault that he was good at another thing, but he's bad at that one thing, and that's what makes the IQ unfair, and that's a huge flaw that needed to be changed. Now, after all these years, there's finally being an improvement made to the original IQ test, and independent.co.uk is a site where I'm paraphrasing from, and it says that back in the 50s and 60s, they try to simplify the brain down, but it shouldn't be, because it's too complex. And now that scientists have realized that, they're developing a new IQ test that's more precise, and it doesn't wrongly accuse you of being dumb, because what they think it's part of is 3 parts: short-term memory, reasoning, and verbal ability. And now that they're adding it into their new test, it's giving people a more accurate and more reasonable sort of IQ level, and it gives them more fairness than the old IQ test. So, in conclusion, IQ is meaningless. Sure, you're born with a certain intelligence and you can predict what you've gotten, but you can improve it. Like, now it's the point where you can improve it based on all your experiences that you have in your lifetime. And the old IQ test was unfair, and the way they test you was overall a bad way. And the new IQ test that's just been developed by new scientists, it's way better and it's way more fair to people, and it's way more precise. It actually shows you how intelligent you are. And now people don't have to suffer wrongly. People don't have to, because they're bad at one thing, they don't have to suffer the ridicule of society. Because now, with their new test, it just makes intelligence something like it just makes intelligence something you can make of it. It's something that you start off on a base and you can just keep improving and improving, and now it's to the point where it's better than it's ever been. And now people are finally able to enjoy their life, because you can be bad in one thing but you can be good in other things, and you're not judged wrongly. And that is what's important, because now your life can be what you make of it. If you want to be intelligent, there's no one thing that says you're not. You can do whatever you want with your life, and that's the truth.